Okay, so dear Dharma practitioners, this is our ongoing meditation session. So be comfortable yourself and relax your body and keep your back straight, neck head straight in one line and your right palm on your left. So gently close your eyes and bring your attention to this bell sound, and while you're focusing to the sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind and relax your breathing with your thoughts. So do nothing extra. Just follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully Enlightened One. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, before we start our practice session, as usual, we'll take few minutes to understand how this practice will help for us to develop our this very lifetime, and at the same time, how this can bring us more profitable skills to gain the liberation. So life is kind of like we go a journey place to place. Today we are here, experience this all, and maybe we go tomorrow to another place, or maybe after we die, we go to another place. It's kind of same like the tourism. You go place to place, experience many things, and there is no end. And you go on the surface level of the earth, and sometimes you want to go to the space, more to the higher, and sometimes you want to go to the depth of the ocean. So in this tour, the life tourism, we gain certain things knowingly or unknowingly, and we hold it to it, and it become kind of like our backpack, our own habitual pattern, our own emotions, our own desires. Is kind of like our backpack. So with that, we go to place. There is no end, and there is no place that you can go and understand, I came to completion. Eons by eons, you can keep going that way. And there is no place you can come to complete satisfaction, to bring the happiness to your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind itself, gaining something from outside. So then, how far we have to go like this? And what is the solution for this all? You have to question yourself. You are today here, experience this life, and at the same time, where are you heading? Because if you don't have that question yourself, who can question it? Even some other people question that. Who can bring solutions to that? Because we all are experience kind of like a very different way of perception, experience. And it is so personal sometimes through the books or sometimes through the lectures or sometimes through some kind of believing system, chanting, maybe not going to help for that. So sometimes you look certain answers to yourself. It is very unique and personal for you. So then how you can gain this soul? So that is where the meditation will help you to have this self-purification. So that's why you have to develop some kind of solitude. Because when it comes to solitude, it gives the ability to be yourself. And once you have that ability, settle down to yourself, it gives ability to look into you, introspection, self-realization, awareness, mindfulness. This all come out of how much you can settle down yourself. And it depends on that ability. How far you can be just by yourself. Because most of the time we always look into outside. Look at that, or the outside, your environment, that you feel so comfortable with this all. But sometimes there are situations come. In this environment, you feel so safety, comfortable, but suddenly if this everything shift, your mind can't recognize what to do or what happening. Like as example, if you get into an accident or earthquake situation, or suddenly some kind of shock, what happens? Your mind start to break down all the patterns. And in this comfort zone, around you, this everything look like solid. Now you think, oh, I can do this, I can do that, I can think this way, I can do that things. Just imagine sometimes when sudden separations happens, you feel kind of like you lost. So what does that mean? So that means even though we experience this comfort to certain level, underneath, in depth of our consciousness, it doesn't have that balance. It doesn't have that foundation. It doesn't have that solid nature. So then you have no power over the next moment. Then just imagine how you know in this very next moment what will happen to you. How you know in that very next moment this everything going to be balanced for you. Even just imagine, most of time when people like going to die, it's happened to all of us. In that very moment, look at yourself. Sometimes it's you are struggling with the pain, discomfort, fear, when this everything start to unbalance you, so how you know that you are capable to have very clear mind? So even though we practice like this sometimes, there are situations come and suddenly your mind shift to that unbalanced state. So then how you can do that? How you can recover from it? How you can get healed out of this? And how you can develop your mind? So that's why little by little, you have to develop the ability to be in the moment. Because you have only this moment. And when you are capable to be in the moment, you can take a choice out of that moment. We have power to take choice out of only in this very moment, not about the past or not about the future. So balance give that ability and comfort, and once it becomes a skill, then you are capable to go with any situation, in any turbulence, because then you know how to handle the thoughts, the mind. So another way that when it comes to meditation, so the concentration and bringing everything, all the thoughts to one, and when this concentration happens, another thing going to happen in you sometimes is that conflict. The thoughts, it's kind of like internal conflict, that the thoughts start to go here and there, pain come, and you want to do different things, and the mind keep pushing you to do or the move. The thoughts start to bring different options to you. So it's a kind of like an internal conflict. So once you see it, rather than without giving up that, if you are capable to take a very conscious decision to conquer that conflict happen inside you, is the another way we call contemplation. Because that skill is very necessary for you. Even though we aware or not, conventional life itself means internal conflict with our emotions, with our habits, and with our conventional knowledge, feelings, desires, fear, unsatisfaction, anxiety, depression, happiness, satisfaction, joy, pleasure, fun. This is all part of this internal conflict. Sometimes you may not aware about it. And if you are not conquer that situation, conquering doesn't mean you hold it. Conquering means here, you are mentally, mindfully see it, recognize it, and overcome it. Not holding, not controlling. So once you are capable to do it within yourself, within your own mind, it can happen anytime during the day. Maybe while you're sleeping, maybe you start to see a dream, suddenly you wake up and you are internally conflict and you are collapsing inside. And maybe outside, maybe party, joy, you meet your partner, maybe your marriage, maybe your children, husband, wife. Even while you practice meditation, this can happen. So everywhere we always experience this. But sometimes we don't put attention or we don't recognize it. So if you don't recognize it, what happens? You just go with it. You don't have any options about it. So you don't recognize it as a conflict. You just take it as a part of life, and then it becomes comfortable. But awareness, mindfulness, the ability of concentration, once you start to concentrate, then you recognize the way you think doesn't work inside your mind. And sometimes what you believe even doesn't work with your mind. You can try it in your life. What you believe even doesn't work with your mind. Just imagine then, how about the outside world? How about we believe other people? You know, we trust other people. We know other people. And we know we trust this machine's warranty. We have the warranty and there is a guarantee for this, and we trust these machines and this all the gadgetics and all these consumer products. We know these things. But suddenly it doesn't work like that. And then you get mad about it. You get disappointed about it. But you don't recognize this is the very nature of our own inner consciousness. So you already have that nature. It's a reflection that you come through this all the outside things. So then remember, if something breaks down in this outside world suddenly, without any information, without any indication, if something happened the completely opposite side according to your plan, so don't worry about it. Because if you develop the concentration awareness, you will see this is what always happening with our mind. This is what always happening in our life. Living means another way. We just keep fighting with this conflict. So that's why contemplation is a deeper skill that you can develop to overcome this situation. And then what happens? Once you overcome it through the practice yourself, observing and recognizing the nature of the mind, whatever happens outside world anymore, it's not a problem for you. You become okay with it. That is where you start to change. That change is the very necessary out of this all the practice. But most of time, out of this all practice, we try to maintain. So this is the highest that we have already in our life. Are you going to maintain this like this? How far? And what are the benefits that you gain if you can maintain these things? No, you have to remember. In the very next moment, you have to have ability to change. So that change should come out of internal understanding, knowingly, conscious interference. So when it comes to that, the very first thing, your all the desires, wanting, preconditioned mind start to come against you. So then sometimes the consciousness from the beginning become very weak. If the emotions or the preconditioned mind is strong. So that's why from the beginning you don't start this war inside you. It's always there is a war with the another way. If we look very carefully, greed and the generosity, ignorance with the wisdom, loving kindness, compassion with the anger and hatred, always have this war. So in the very beginning, don't try to get into that. Just settle down. Let everything to happen as it is. Why? Because with this mind, we can't go to that war. If we go like this, we get loose. Why? Because this is the condition itself create that war. So then with this, you can't go and win it. Then it becomes more and stronger. So in the very beginning, then what you need to do, you have to neutralize it. So that is where you need tranquility meditation. So once the mind tranquilized through the primary mental object, then from that point you can come to find the choice. Choice is the only thing that you can have in the present moment. So if you become aware, if you become mindful, you get the most of the time, you get the most highest choice. Because that is the only thing you can do. So then why you go for very minor choice? You go for the higher choice. You don't go for a very lower level of choice. So when it comes to human world, in the conventional life, if you have opportunity as an ordinary person, what is the highest choice that you can make? So that choice is contemplation. So if you are capable to contemplate your own mind consciously and taking a choice again and again, again and again, again and again, what will happen? All that emotional backpack going to become empty. When the emotional backpack become empty, what happened? The repetition of actions start to minimize. When the repetition of actions become minimized or slow down, the result of the karma cannot affect. That means it's going to slow down. When the result of when the karma, effect of the karma, that means your previous actions result, and most of time overtake your moment of life, but now you slow down it, then you have the more opportunity in the present moment to make a choice. And sometimes our previous karma don't allow us to give a space to have a choice. So that's why sometimes most of the time we surrender to situations. But now you create a choice, you create a space to make a choice. And little by little, you expand that duration. Now, the result of the karma minimize, and the space to to make a choice, expand. So by the time, little by little, little by little, little by little, in a certain level, your power of taking choice become strong. That becoming a conscious and taking a conscious decision. And that is where you again and again and again merge with the contemplation. Contemplation what? This very inner conflict, this inner busyness, this inner scattered mind. You contemplate again and again and again and again. So your thoughts everywhere now, that contemplation bring the ability to see this all the pattern of thoughts. And that is where you recognize this thought arise, exist for a moment and disappear. And you see the very nature, behavior, character of thoughts. And once you know, it doesn't matter how sometimes strong thoughts come with the strong desires, and sometimes very minor, very soft level of thoughts come with the soft level of desire. And that all itself disappear. And that thoughts arise according to the necessary cause and conditions inside you. So once you see this, you're not going to be so crazy about thoughts. Now you see how the thoughts happens. And once you have ability not to respond to thoughts, then by the time you have ability to withdraw from your own thought, that is a beautiful skill that if you have, because otherwise look sometimes that our own thoughts drive us crazy. And we know what to do or what not to do. We all knows what is good and bad. We all knows what is right and wrong. Just think for a moment. But there are some moments come in our life when that thoughts come, there is no way just by thinking we can stop it. No way. Just by thinking, it's not going to happen. Somehow we're going to do it. And even we have no idea how we do that. But somehow we do that. So that's mean. Just imagine how we know tomorrow what kind of thoughts come to us. Because we know we have that nature. And like in Indian literature, there is a rishi called Narada. This Narada's father was well educated and well established, well known, good person. And what happened, and he had a wife and he had a very good family life. But what happened, he was so capable to do anything and no one challenged him. So what happened one day, he went to town and he saw very beautiful prostitute. And he forget that everything he built up his identity as who he was. And what he did? He took this prostitute woman and brought home. And it was a mess. And everybody came against him. But he was so strong person. And somehow he kept that woman at home. And he rejected his wife. And he has no idea why he did that. And suddenly his mind shifts to completely different level. And he has no, it's not a control, he has no understanding what is happening. He completely washed away from the current. His own mind, not somebody else, his own mind. And for that woman, there was a child came that born, that child name called Narada. So he was such a beautiful rishi in the Indian history. But when we talk about that rishi or the Narada, that we talk about his father's behavior. And that father's behavior, later Narada knew that what happened to his father and how he, because when he became little by little young, he saw that his mother and people treat her in a different way. And then there is another mother that, so he started to question. And one day with his father, he had a discussion and father asked, who is this? What happened? How I became like this? Sometimes children ask like that, you know. So then the father told, I don't know what happened. I went to the town, I saw your mother, I forget everything. Then the Narada was aware about that. And he was thinking, that's mean, even though we experience this, everything like this, underneath, behind this whole experience, there is a current happening which we don't know yet. So what he did? He started to practice, and to get that, catch that current. See that from father's mistake, from father's lesson, he started to develop his path. That's how he became Rishi or the yogi. So somehow the important thing is, you and me, everybody need to remember, even though in this conventional life, we maintaining our identity, this lifestyle like this, sometimes this everything wash away. It's everything become blank. So that's the power of, it's not happened just automatically. That's the power of our own mental formations or the previous actions, which is called the sanskara, or the repetition of the actions. So when you develop the ability of contemplation, or when you create the ability or the space to take a choice, conscious decision, merge or the engage with contemplation regarding this inner conflict or this catastrophic or the thoughts pattern, that current not going to overtake your this moment of life. How beautiful it is. If you can develop that kind of such a mental state in you, you are the one who gaining the comfort, or you are the one who having that benefit. That itself is the thrust you have through the practice. So then always remember, you may experience already that kind of situation in your life, like the Rishi Narada's father, or maybe in the future it may happen to you. But even it happened to you like that, the very first thing you have to remember, you have to develop the ability of contemplation. and bring that ability to insight and introspection, look into yourself and see your own thought patterns, and bring the concentration and bring that all the thoughts to one point and develop the tranquility state and understand. And when the thoughts coming, thoughts going, you are not crazy about it because you know these all thoughts change. So then you are not hurried to hold it, or you are not hurried to react to it. So once you have that ability, thoughts will come and thoughts will go. So through the practice of meditation, you gain the same wisdom, same understanding. So seeing the thoughts is another way, but now we observe the inhalation and exhalation. So the same thing, inhalation and exhalation, it is not what you do, it is what happened to you. So that's why you have to observe and recognize it rather than thinking and trying to understand. So the same thing with your body, with your mind, with your breathing, what happened, the same thing happens. And with this entire universe, same thing happens. Arising, exists for a moment and disappear, change or become something. So once you recognize it within yourself, observing the inhalation, exhalation, and you can apply that wisdom to anything in your life. That's become kind of like a dharma to yourself. And when you have that kind of something to hold or settle down yourself, and whatever the situation come, whatever the unbalance come, rather than depending from the outside, you go into that dharma that you practice and you gain the balance from there. So if you don't have that kind of place, it's kind of like a landing pad. Remember that. You know, like the higher buildings, high-rise building, they have kind of like a landing pad. Like a ships that they go in the deeper ocean, they have kind of like a landing pad. You know, in certain places, cities, you know, so there are certain kind of emergency landing pad. So in your life, this dharma that you develop with the practice, you build up out of contemplation, is kind of like an emergency landing pad for you. Why? Because sometimes disasters can happen to all of us. And without any indication, everything can go out of the pattern, everything can change. But when that kind of situations come, rather than landing or holding or grasping the outside things, go into deeper to your practice. Be with it. No bodily, verbally, mentally, actions that you create out of this inner conflict. So in that way, little by little, little by little, little by little, you develop a deeper spiritual development in you to gain the ultimate liberation or the satisfaction of the Nibbana. So that's what you need. So that is what happened out of this practice. So that's why practicing means moment by moment, giving yourself and finding the choice. That choice, contemplation regarding your own thoughts, not about something. So then again and again, again and again, look into you and develop this introspection, and again brush up yourself, clean yourself, and correct yourself. So with that, let's get into practice a little bit now. So your right palm on your left hand, neck head straight in one line, and be comfortable with your posture. So bring attention to your body and scan head to toes yourself and say Sopatveva, or may I be well and happy 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable. May my breath be more smooth. May no difficulties come to me. May all the success come to me. Also think for a moment. This is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime. And detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalation and exhalations. So in the beginning, deeply and gently, breathe in, breathe out 3 times and find the sensation, please. And allow your inhalations, exhalations happen itself. When it happens through the sensation, recognize it, do nothing extra. Bring your attention to your body, please. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also, as far as you can, through galaxies, other planets, stars. Reminding yourself like this. With clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe. And may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart forward. Visualize yourself and send it as a light. To your backside, your left side, and to your right side. Downward, and upward. To all 6 directions at once, like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy, without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest. Wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So first of all, we offer this practice to the great qualities of the Buddha, Dharma, and the Sangha. And also by the power of this meritorious deed, may all of us attain to the supreme bliss of Nibbana. May all your guardian angels and deities will receive these merits and increase their longevity and protect all of you from any kind of planetary influences or any ill effects. Ittavata cha me sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya Imaya Dhamma Patipattiya Buddham Pujemi Dhammam Pujemi Sangham Pujemi Addaya Imaya Patipattiya Jati Jara Vyadi Maranam Paribunjisami Idamme Punya Kammang Asavakkaya Vahang Hotu Sabba Dukkha Pamunchatu. Bless you.